Greetings, it's Jess, and I am here with your Aquarius season Leo full moon astrology report. So, on the body, Aquarius rules the ankles, calves, shins, and the circulatory system. So, below the knee, and then the veins. So, be mindful of all those parts. Emotionally, the ankle, calves, and shins are related to our ability to move forward, stability, flexibility. Are you being flexible, moving in the direction that you want to be going in? If not, you might be experiencing some issues with the knees, calves, shins, ankles, below the knee. That's right. And circulatory system. So the circulatory system is very important, crucial. It emotionally holds and responds to our ability to process healthy emotions, to feel the emotions that need to be felt, acknowledge them, look at them, and let them flow and pass. If you have circulation issues, especially around this season, it could be a sign that you're suppressing and blocking feelings. We want to feel, heal, keep it real. Feel them, see them, let them flow out. That's what they do. Energy in motion, emotion, energy in motion. You got to move that energy through. Blocked energy creates disease and illness. Nobody wants that. Okay, so back to the sky. Big questions are coming up. This full moon in Leo. Leo is opposite Aquarius in the wheel. It's a circle. Circles have diameters, and on each end of those diameters is a different polarity. It's a different house polarity. So the full moon coming up on the 25th, 26th, Thursday from me now. So yeah, 25th of January 2024 is a polarity between the moon in Leo and then the sun in Aquarius. The sun just moved into Aquarius. Actually, the sun moved into Aquarius and it's right on top of Pluto right now, and that is a big deal. The world is changing. And the answer is choose you. Your homework, your mission, this Leo full moon, and for Aquarius season, for the remainder of Aquarius season, next month and a half or so, is to complete the selfless act of prioritizing your big picture identity. So the selfless act of prioritizing you. Pluto conjunct the sun brings transformation, big transformation. These are big death, rebirth, confrontations. So think about when your life is flashing before your eyes, when you're at that finish line, what scenes do you want to make sure make it into that memorial reel that you see before we all, peace out? What do you want to make sure that you did? When you want to look back and be like, wow, I did that. I'm so glad. Big or small. People are processes. And the you today is a lot different than the you from yesterday, the you from tomorrow. The you today is going to be a lot different from the you 5 years ago or, 2 weeks from now. Why? Because you are at different stages of process. More things have happened to you as you move forward. And all of those experiences, relationships, all the things we cross paths with and interact with, they leave impressions, they leave imprints, or maybe we leave parts of ourselves behind. And there's always a different combination of things, of molecules, emotional particles, whatever you want to call it. You are always a different moving collection of cells, items, and activities. So knowing that, you actually have a lot of power here because you can control the narrative. You can put yourself consciously, deliberately, using your free will and your functional organs, you can put yourself in situations to have certain experiences. You can go buy tickets to a concert. You can make a special trip to visit somebody if they feel ill. You can go to a beach. You can go on vacation. You can, visit an acupuncturist if that's something you need to do. You can put yourself in places. You can apologize to somebody. You have that power. You can deliberately bring about these instances to add experiences to your process Change who you are moving forward. Yeah. Intuition is the key. So when you are following, what are you following? Well, you're following your intuition. And when it comes to Aquarius season, specifically, we're looking at our individuality and the ideals that create that individuality. Uh, Intuition is going to be key. What is your part, your small part in the collective, in the whole? So your small part is up to you. It's, whatever floats your boat. And I always say intuition, my definition of intuition, the inner teacher, yes, but my definition of intuition as it interacts with us, intuition is benign repetition. Intuition is benign repetition. So that little voice that you hear on a recurrent basis, those recurrent nudges, they're never urgent, they're never pushy, it's just benign. You should do this. Hey, what about that? You wanted to do this. For instance, right now, my intuition is telling me to learn how to pickle ginger. And I know it's something that would take probably 2 minutes and does most of the work on its own, but it's something that I've never done before. I need to look into. And so you create that, like, oh, yeah, I'll get to it later. It seems so insignificant. It could be done at any time. So you put it off and then you never get it done. That kind of thing. Anywho, following are your sign by sign horoscopes for Aquarius season. You get 3. So don't just listen for your sun sign. There are more things up in the sky than just the sun, and they were all there when you popped out, when you were born, and they all have an influence over you and the manner in which you traverse this terrestrial existence that we call life on Earth. So it's more than just the sun, and I really want to get that point across to as many people as possible. Know your chart and listen for what is in store for you this Aquarius season. Listen for your sun sign. Listen for your moon sign. Know your moon sign and listen for your ascendant sign. Moon and ascendant are very important to your day-to-day everything. They call that the big 3, sun, moon, ascendant. There are, of course, other things than that in the sky that have just as much importance and interplay. But let's start where we can with these 3. All right. I'm going to start with Libra because we never start with Libra. And in the spirit of Aquarius season, doing things a little wacky, we're starting with Libra. Why? Because sometimes people mix it up and start with Pisces. Normally everyone starts with Aries because that's the beginning of the zodiacal wheel. Some people are like, oh, we're going to start with Pisces and do it backwards, but it doesn't matter, frontwards or backwards. Libra is always in the middle. It's that middle child smack dab in the center, so they always have to wait. No one ever lets Libra go first, so I'm going to let Libra go first. Other benefit to that is when we're starting with Libra, we're ending with Virgo. And Virgos, along with other earth signs, have a reputation of being the hardest to convince that astrology is real. Earth signs are like, astrology, what are we, 12? And no, like they believe in it. Like, yeah, I believe in astrology the way I believe in vampires. It's attractive and alluring, but I have yet to see hard evidence that it doesn't suck. I'm teasing. Sooner or later, everybody gets born a Virgo. Okay, here we go. Libra. The phrase that comes to mind this Aquarius season for Libra is asserting for the unfamiliar. It is still a well thought out trademark Libra situation that guarantees to benefit all parties involved. But it, whatever you're going to come up with, whatever the solution is, it's going to be a marked break from the pattern hitherto. Something that is just so crazy, it might work. It's so crazy, it just might work. Of all the zodiac signs, Libra might need to relocate, or at least you'll be spending a lot of your time somewhere that you would never pick for yourself. Doing something with the majority of your time that you wouldn't pick for yourself either. So it's going to be a little bit of an adventure for you. Scorpio. Scorpio, the image that comes to mind is that you are your own trainee. There's this interesting tug of war happening for these Scorpios, a changing of the guard, but you're living as both the future and the past version of yourself at once. And there isn't really a coherent integration yet in the present. So it almost feels like you're fully awake for the surgery as these two parts of you are integrating. So there's a very solid near future version of you who completely knows the lay of the land and can handle the things that you are embarking on right now. And then there is the, not there yet, not quite there yet self. And that version of you is putting up some half-hearted resistance because you can't see the next step. You're walking along here, you're walking off a cliff with just blind faith, and it's just like, hey, don't look down, you'll make it to the other side. Just don't look down, you'll be fine, you'll make it. And you're like, how in the hell do I got this? What am I doing? One foot in front of the other. Don't look down. Before you know it, you'll be on the other side. It'll be fine. Then you will be masterfully in command. Sagittarius. This is actually a very supportive time for Sagittarius, so congratulations, you win. It's like things are getting, like, all of the right accidents are happening. Things are getting knocked into place very fortuitously for you. An example, I have an older car. It's a 1998, and it has an original tape deck stereo. And it doesn't work that great all the time, especially because the stereo was made in 98 with 98 technology. And the music that is playing through my iPhone is mastered for, 2020 and beyond. So the technology is different, it doesn't correlate. Anywho, every once in a while, I will hit a pothole or a bump in the road, and it'll knock the stereo into working better. Like you hit a bump and it's like, oh, now I can hear that song, like the Fonzie on the jukebox trick. But yeah, things get knocked into harmony, accidentally almost. All of a sudden, it's like that for your life path. Things fall into place, and the seas part, it gets smoother. It can also be a sudden payout from something that you forgot about. You planted a seed, a year ago, and you forget about it, and then you hear something back, and it's like, hey, you got that thing, or like, hey, you won, or that kind of thing, especially if it has something to do with your family line or an inheritance or something. So that'll be a pleasant surprise. Capricorn, your question is, do I still care about this? It's a big shift in your personal values, and it will most likely confront the thing that you're going after now, that you want now, that's important to you now, is going to confront the property and the possessions that you have at this time. So there's a little bit more than a little bit of never say never at play here. Capricorn is the other sign that is very susceptible to relocating this season, as you confront that forked dilemma. So that can look like, I want to be closer to my family and be around, but I have a house in another state. Or I want to work remote and travel and see more of the world while I'm still young before I get any older. But I've had this same very comfortable position for 10 years, and I'm afraid to leave it, and I have to be there, I have to show up every day, and I want to work remote. So what is more important to you, and what do you want to be spending your time doing? Now is also the time for Capricorns to really jump on making any shifts and changes in how they handle their health. So trying out new treatments, new diets, cutting out certain habits and old ways of taking care of yourself or not taking care of yourself. It's a time to change those habits. Also getting off of any prescription medications that are doing you more harm than good, more side effects than positive effects kind of situations. So Aquarius, as the sun moves over your natal sun, you're going to be thinking a lot about the big picture of your life, confrontations with your own mortality. It doesn't mean a crisis, it's just a glimpse at the bigger picture. How fragile our little human lives are, and how vast and endless the things to do with our time here is. So it's a self-evaluation of how you've spent your time so far. Are your ideals and attitudes yielding results that you enjoy? Or do you need to plan some unraveling and resources to reinvent yourself. Pisces, your big realization is that you are no longer living your life just for you. You are living your life being the person that you want to be as an example for everyone. It's a quiet acceptance of the sizable importance of submitting to, surrendering to, the individual that you have always been. So there's probably something that you've always been wanting to do on your terms, your way, that you haven't allowed yourself to before because it wasn't kosher. You know, it was like, oh, I need to do things the way that everyone else does. But now that free reign is the only thing that is kosher. So this is who you are. This is the experience that you need to have. And there is a valiant nature to that. It's a very gentle acceptance to a profound soul ache. So follow that. Answer the call. It's not selfish. This is where your path naturally curves to the left. Honor that, much to your own delight. Aries. Aries might not like the people that you have to share with or work with in the next few weeks, month. Or you'll be fine with the people, but the circumstances themselves are just maddening. Your favorite thing, the power to initiate and work alone to get things done as quickly and efficiently as possible, that will be at the mercy of someone else who is very confounding to you. And the situation is still going to require that you wear a smile and keep things pleasant. But inside, you're going to be like, oh my fucking God. Is this serious? Is she serious? Is this really happening? What did I do? The grand twist of irony here, though, is that this insufferable roadblock is actually exactly the way to get the thing that you've been stewing and brewing about for a while. So if there's something you've been like, I need to get that, I want that, I need that, the vision that you've had, Aries is very intense fire sign, visionary, like I know what I want and I'm going to get that. That thing is going to be hand delivered to you, but it's going to be hand delivered to you by means of this roadblock frustration situation. It's a test of patience. How long, Jess, am I going to be stuck here? Not very long. End of spring, late summer, it'll start to lessen and work out in your favor. In the meantime, Aries, you can adopt this mantra as you are going through this this test of patience. Tell yourself on repeat, I am becoming unfuckwithable. I am becoming unfuckwithable. Every day that I am stuck here and I have to handle this, I am becoming even more unfuckwithable. Taurus, the word that comes to mind is embarrassment. So the homework here is to love yourself and give yourself enough grace to overcome the embarrassment that you will feel concerning your public reputation, especially in your career sphere. Vulnerabilities will be exposed. Personal needs that can no longer be denied will have to be heard by others. Yes, it is going to be a breach in the wall of public persona that you have constructed. So avoid the trap of panicking over what you think someone else might think, because those thoughts are still yours. You're just putting your insecurities behind the face of somebody else that you know. That's all that is. It's you're not confronting your anxieties head on. You're using another person in your life as like a puppet, and then they're going to speak the anxieties and the negative stuff to you. And all that's still happening in your head, so it's not quite real. And the positive part about this is those vulnerabilities create places, weak points, injuries to sever from the old structures that are no longer serving you, the heaviness that you've been carrying around. It's a container, it's a limit, and the vulnerability that will arise is a good place to snip. So do what you can to knock down those barriers. And or I from experience, when we don't take the invitation to remove things from our lives that are not helping us anymore, that are actually hurting us, and they're not meant for us, if we don't voluntarily go for leaving them behind or unraveling them, the universe finds a way to do it for us. Gemini. Gemini is noticing a solemn but rightful shift in maturity. It could be comfortable, it could be not so comfortable, most likely a mix here and there of the two, but regardless, it is a rightful progression, a quiet milestone in the chapters of your life, a rite of passage for the soul. Might not be announced, there might not be any fanfare, no validation, but you are recognizing inside that your role in the family has changed. So be sensitive to where you feel intuitively called to take on more responsibility. Conversely, there are going to be other areas of your life that you no longer have to be responsible for. So shrugging the responsibilities of the previous you and acknowledging like, oh no, it's time for me to handle this now. And going for it. You're moving up. Cancer. Cancer, you will face a ticking time bomb when it comes to other people's money. Death, debt, company revenue. Those are all heavier, but a time bomb can be positive, like an inheritance. If somebody is very, very old and it's only been a matter of time for quite some time, that time is up and very soon. Or you might have more of a budget to work with than you previously thought, and that's actually a really good thing. But whatever's been festering or rooting underground when it comes to how you manage or partake in contracted shared resources will come to surface. So inheritance, bills, lending money, discussions about wills, they're all fair game. Any anxieties or apprehensions when it comes to money will also have to be looked at. And that can be like the fear of not having enough, the fear of being in debt, or it can also be some people are afraid to have money because they don't trust themselves with it, or they're afraid to have money because of the attention, or they're afraid to have money because of, sometimes you get a big gain monetarily or property-wise, but it comes at the expense of personal loss. So yeah, like you lose a favorite relative and they leave you a chunk of change, but you're like, yeah, but my grandparents gone. Or you win a lawsuit and now you're a millionaire, but it's only because you were in a horrible accident, that kind of thing. Not that those are going to happen to you, but the fear that you feel about those things has to be looked at. Okay. Leo. Leo is going to be inhibited by somebody else's sudden withdrawal. So something you want, something you were looking forward to, all of a sudden the rug gets pulled out from under you because somebody else suddenly just cannot anymore. They're not holding up their end of the bargain. They let you down. This is an ego test because Leo is fixed fire. They're all about personal willpower, creativity, self-expression. And whatever is being complicated for you at this time either is an invitation to drop it, it was not meant for you, or it's not the right way and you're supposed to find another way to do it. So look in this situation, the redirect, whatever situation you want that gets redirected, what are your options there? What do you have control over? Okay, so like if they take this away from me, what can I still do here and how can I make it better? And how is this actually a blessing in disguise? So a little bit of creative thinking. Leo is fixed fire, all about creativity, expression, find a way to get a better version of the thing that was going to happen. Okay. Virgo, we made it all the way to the end of Virgo. Something that you thought wasn't that, something you thought that was not that serious suddenly becomes serious. What does that mean? So something that you weren't that invested in, you were just going through the motions of it because perhaps you felt obligated or you were just being nice, going through the motions of something, and you had a very casual relationship with it. It starts to bear some karmic stitching. Now, what do I mean by that? Example, I was just bidding on an estate auction for fun, for funsies. Hey, yeah, I'll bet that. And now you want a speedboat. And now you have to be responsible for a speedboat. Or you only took a job because it was an in-between thing. It was like, okay, I can get hired for this. It's easy. It's a lateral move. I don't really care about it that much. I'll show up. It's convenient. You're not invested whatsoever, but now the owner wants to make you partner. All of a sudden you're invested. Or maybe you thought, I'm just singing in the shower, la la la, because it's fun and it's how I blow off steam, pun intended. But the neighbor heard you. And the neighbor likes what she hears. And she's like, hey, I would love for you to sing at my wedding. And you're like, I was just, singing as I scrubbed, and now I have to be in front of people, and that was not what I was intending. That kind of thing. Yeah. Something you thought was all fun and games suddenly requires a little bit of responsibility. Or conversely, maybe you're a Virgo who doesn't enjoy fun and games, and someone comes along and shows you some, and then you get hooked. You remember what it feels like to have fun, and you're like, how come I haven't been doing this? I miss this. And now there's going to be like a seriousness about fun. That makes sense. Yes. Because I said so. Yeah. Have more fun. Have more fun. That's a lesson for everybody. That's it. Have a beautiful Leo full moon and a gorgeous Aquarius season as we go through this big shift together. And I will talk to you again when the moon is new. Bye for now.